Good morning, my dear students. This is Richa Sharma, maths teacher, Bright Scholar, Senior Secondary School. So, today let's move forward to our next question. Our next question is based on conversion. Before starting it, I want to show a conversion chart to you that I have made for you. See this conversion chart? This conversion chart is for length, weight, and volume or capacity. The standard unit for length is meter, for weight is gram, and for capacity or volume is liter. So I have made one combined table which include all the standard units. When you see it, it is just like the way you write numbers. It has ones, tens, hundreds, and thousand columns on the whole side, and tenth, hundredth, and thousandth column on the decimal side. So in ones column, I have written all the standard units, and here we have different conversion factors on both the sides. If you want to convert from higher to lower, then you have to multiply. The basic rule is, if you want to convert higher unit to lower unit, the operation to be applied is multiplication. And if you want to convert lower unit to higher unit, the operation to be applied is division. For example, if you want to convert kilometer into meter, then how many multiplication is coming in between? 3. So you have to multiply it with 1000 because 3 times 10 is coming. 10 into 10 into 10 will make 1000. So you have to multiply with 1000. But if you want to go the reverse direction, like if you want to convert meter into kilometer, so here you have to divide by 1000. Okay, so this is the basic conversion method. Same you can follow in case of weight and volume, like in case of gram and liter. So this was the conversion factor for metric measurement unit. But I have made the chart for time also. Suppose you want to follow the conversion of time. So these are the basic conversion of time. In 1 year, we have 365 days or 366 days in case of a leap year. 1 month can have 30 or 31 days. But if it is Feb, it can have 28 or 29 days depending on the leap year. 1 week has 7 days. 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Now conversion rule is same. If you want to convert lower to higher, means divide. For example, if you want to convert 5 minutes into hour, then you have to divide by the conversion factor, that is 60. But if you want to convert hour into minute, then you have to multiply by the given conversion factor. So same kind of chart you can make for yourself and paste it somewhere where you can have a look at it daily, and easily you will learn all the conversion factor. This one for time and this one for your length, weight and capacity. Now with the help of one that we have made for time here, let's solve our first question. So our first question is, you have to convert 556 minutes into hour and minutes. Now minutes is the lower value and hour is highest. So lower to higher, just now I told you what is to be done for lower to higher? Divide. So in case of lower to higher, you have to divide. What is the conversion factor? 60 minutes. So you have to divide by 60. Now whatever comes in the quotient, that will be your hour part, means the higher unit part, and whatever in the remainder, it will be written with the lower unit. So here you are getting 9 in the quotient, so answer will be 9 hours and 16 as the remainder, 16 minutes. You have to write it in this way. Similarly, you can do the remaining part. Now the next question is addition and subtraction. Here you have to see the columns, hours and minutes. You have to add 23 hour 45 minutes and 7 hour 45 minutes. So you have to write it in the form of columns. You will write the heading as hour and minutes and put the values given in the question. Now in these questions also you have to keep in mind the conversion factor. When you add the minutes column, what you are getting? 90 minutes. But you know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So from 90 minutes you take out 60 minutes and at that place you add 1 hour in the hours column. Because it is better to write in the higher unit if it can be converted. And whatever is left after subtracting, that will be written here. Now we are left with 30 minutes. Now with 30 minutes we cannot make more hour, because to make one complete hour we need 60 minutes. Okay, so here the question will end up. The answer is 31 hours and 30 minutes. Similarly, if we have to subtract, first of all, we'll arrange in 3 columns because in next part we are being given with 3 columns: hours, minutes and seconds. So first of all, you will make 3 columns: hour, minutes and seconds, and arrange the given numbers. Now here you see, as we always start from the right hand side, we have to subtract 17 seconds from 5 seconds. Whenever we have less value, we need to take borrow from the higher place. So second column will ask for borrow from minutes column, but it is also having 0 minutes, so it will take borrow from hours column. Here we need to do conversion. When hours column will give 1 hour, so minute needs to convert it into minutes. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So in place of 1 hour, 60 minutes will be added. And from those 60 minutes, it will give 1 minute to seconds column. And when that 1 minute will be transferred, as 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, so 60 seconds will be added to whatever seconds value is already present. So 60 plus 5 will give you 65 seconds. And now it can be done. 65 seconds can take, from 65 seconds we can take away 17 seconds. We are left with 48 seconds. Here as 1 minute was given, so left 59 minutes were left. From 59 minutes we take away 25 minutes and we are left with this one. And similarly, as R has given 1 hour as borrow, so we'll do the subtraction here also. And whatever answer is left will be written at the last. In this way, you can add and subtract with the help of conversion factors. Now, my dear students, our next question is based on cost price and selling price formula. To understand these two questions, I am just explaining you a simple concept. Cost price means cost, what you have paid to purchase a specific item, and selling price means at what price you are selling it. So the short form we write CP for cost price and SP for selling price. If you are purchasing an item at 100 rupees and you are selling it at 200, it means you are having a profit. But if you are purchasing an item at 100 rupees and you are selling it at 50 rupees, means you are having a loss. So on this basis, you have to find out the formulas. Now in this particular question, it is said that a shopkeeper sold a carpet for rupees 1700 at a profit of this 655 rupees. So what is the cost price? So selling price is given to you and profit is given to you. Means you are selling it at a more price. It means you might have purchased it at a lesser price. So to find the lesser value, what you have to do? You have to subtract. Because on adding, you will not get a less value. You will get a more value. Okay. So to understand this concept, you have to keep in mind that if selling price is more than cost price, it means to find out the cost price, we need to subtract the profit. So we will subtract the profit from selling price and then we will get the cost price at which we have purchased. Same way in second question, cost price and selling price are given to you. See what is the question? Jyoti bought a bicycle for rupees 959 and sold it for rupees 1010. Was there gain or loss? If you know both the selling price and cost price and you have to find out ki you are having gain or loss. See, if you have purchased an item at less price and selling it at more price, then obviously you are earning some benefit. So then in that case, it is a profit. If selling price is more than cost price, then you are having a profit. But if selling price is less than cost price, then you are having a loss. So in this question, selling price is more, so there is a profit. Now how much profit? For that you have to subtract the given two values, and after subtracting you will find out the amount that is your profit. So in this way you can find out the profit, loss, cost price or selling price by understanding the basic concept. Now the next question is, with the help of ruler you have to measure the line segment AB. Now to find out the length, what you have to do? You have to map the points with the scale. See, first you have to match the dot O with the starting point of your scale. The starting point of your scale is 0. So you will put it on the starting point A. And then you will see that up to which point this point B is going. Okay. So when you see in your book, when you put it here on A, and you see the last point. You see where the last point is coming. So it is coming 1 point before 6. So the value of this line segment is 5.9 centimeter. So same length line segment you can draw in your notebook. Now our next question is, use a ruler and protractor and draw angle PQR of measure 105 degree. Also write its type. Now as you have to draw an angle, so for angle you need a protractor. Now what you have to do, first you have to draw this baseline. Okay, and you have to draw this baseline by looking at the scales, as there are two scales on the protractor. So if you are using the inner scale, your baseline must be towards the right hand side, but if you are using the outer scale, your baseline must be towards your left hand side. As I have drawn the baseline towards the right hand side, so I will see the inner scale. Match the center of the protractor with the starting point of the line like this. See, the Q point is matching with the center. Now see, this inner scale should be where the 0 is. The 0 is inside, so we will see the inner scale. Now according to the scale, you see that where angle 105 is. So 105 is between 100 and 110. So with the help of pencil, you mark a dot between 100 and 105 at the top of the protractor. Now what you have to do, you have to join this point with this point, and you can join it with the help of either scale or your protractor. After joining, you get this angle of 105 degree. Now you have also to tell that whether this angle is acute or obtuse or right. So this you will get to know by comparing it with the 90 degree. If the angle is more than 90 degree, then it is an obtuse angle. If it is 90 degree, then it is right angle. If it is less than 90 degree, then it is acute angle. But in this case, it is more than 90 degree. So it is obtuse angle. In this way, you can find out. Next question is question number 5. Draw a circle of radius 3.5 centimeter. Name its center O and radius OM. As you all know that to draw a circle, we need a compass, and for a particular radius, we need a scale. So first of all, you have to measure the given length with the help of scale. With the help of your scale, open your compass of 3.5 centimeter. From 0 to 3.5 centimeter. Like this, you open it for 3.5 centimeter. Then put the compass in the center and draw your circle like this. Okay, in this way you can draw, and then join. Put this point as center and join this center to the outside boundary and name it as your radius. In this way you can draw the circle. Next question is, what will be the perimeter of a square of side 6 centimeter? Perimeter is the outside boundary of a figure. So we have to find out the outside boundary for a square whose side is 6 centimeter. Formula for the perimeter is 4 multiplied by side, because a square is having 4 sides. Basically, we call perimeter as sum of all sides. So we are adding length of all 4 sides, or we can do it with the help of multiplication also. So just 4 into side will give you the perimeter. Okay. Then our last question of this unit is, find the area of a rectangle whose length and breadth is given to you. Now perimeter is the outside boundary of a figure, but area is the inside space covered by a figure. So area of a rectangle you can find out with this formula, length multiplied by breadth. Now you know the length and breadth, you just have to multiply them and the answer will be your area. Now see the unit. Unit will be centimeter square because we are multiplying units. Centimeter multiplied by centimeter will give you centimeter square. In this way you can find out the area of a rectangle. So with this we have completed unit 1. So complete it with the help of video and notes. And then after this we will start our next unit. Wish you very happy learning.